Due to some sexual content, parental discretion is advised.
Masturbating.
God! Get ready to rock, America!
It's the Smith and Milano podcast, brought to you by Treehouse Comedy Productions. Here's R.C. Smith and Lou Milano.
Oh! Here we are. I can't believe it. We finally made it. Welcome. I am R.C. Smith, and you are
Lou Milano.
And this is the first ever episode
of the Smith and Milano
podcast.
What do you do, RC?
I'm a stand-up comic. I travel all over the country trying to make people laugh, and my day job is I do audience warm-up for TV shows. Every show that has a live audience has a guy that entertains the crowd before the show, during commercial breaks, and that's what I do.
Currently, you are on ABC's The
ABC's
Chew.
Emmy Award-winning daytime show, The Chew, and I won an Emmy Award. They gave
you have it?
I have an Emmy Award.
Get out of shit.
I have an Emmy Award, which now gives me carte blanche to work in any underground garage bunker in Connecticut.
Wait a sec. We have to stop
doing
everything.
comedy.
Can I tell you that if I had an Emmy Award, I'd be jamming it down people's throats?
Not
only would I say it,
I did it first. I did it with no lie. It's so pretentious that I had people introduce me during comedy shows. This next guy is an Emmy Award-winning comic.
that's the best thing.
It's cool,
but it also doesn't make sense.
It's a little douchey as well.
But it also doesn't make sense. Like, how do you can't win an Emmy for doing stand-up comedy?
No, you can only win an Emmy for doing television.
Warm-up comedy for doing television.
Yeah, and to be fair, they didn't specifically say the Emmy is for R.C. Smith. The show won an Emmy Award.
That's awesome.
And we all got one. So
I have a similar thing.
All right.
Well, it's not even close, actually.
What, you're like got your merit badge when you were a Cub Scout?
No, if you support a band,
right?
Because I'm a radio guy. That's what I do, by the way. I do radio in Connecticut. I have for 18 years.
Right.
I can't talk about the station because they don't want me to contractually.
Right. It's let's say it's terrestrial radio
for now,
as they say.
Yeah. So whatever. So if you support a band like a lot for real, and they feel like you have contributed to their sales, they will deliver you a gold or a platinum record.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So if you promote the band, if you're on the air and you say, "Hey, this next band is playing this," and they win a Grammy for it.
Yes.
Or no, a gold record, not a Grammy award,
but a
gold
or
record,
a platinum record.
because you're part of their sales.
But then your
success.
name is registered with the Recording Industry Association of America.
So you have a gold record.
I have 2 platinums and a gold.
For what bands?
Or 2 golds and a platinum.
For what bands?
TSO.
Oh, nice.
All of them.
Wow, that's very
Paul
cool.
O'Neill just passed away, actually.
Right, yeah.
He was the brainchild behind all of it, and he was a sweet guy. And we did really promote him, but I didn't write any songs. They actually hang in O'Connor's Pub. In O'Connor's Public House, in Brewster, New York. And there's several locations.
Nice.
So, yeah.
If both of us were in the position to still, pick up women, that is, I have an Emmy Award.
I got a platinum record.
Have a platinum record. Oh, we could go out and troll and get so many women.
So that's who we are.
Yeah. And here's the deal with this show. I know that everybody and their brother and every crap comic in America has their own podcast. And so we're going to continue that trend of having our own podcast.
Every radio guy.
Every guy.
Actually, more comics have podcasts than radio guys.
Any guy that has a laptop and a basement does a podcast.
We'll get more into our background because I think it's interesting. At least our story together is pretty interesting.
Because we've known each other for a while. And that's another thing I want to talk to you about later, about how people think we might be really good friends. And how in our minds we think we're good friends, but we don't really talk a lot. Only when it comes to business is when we really talk.
We should get back to that.
Yeah, so many. But
thoughts.
Anyway, the mission statement, quote unquote, of this podcast is just to have a really good time. We're trying not to get too deep, too analytical, too political.
Right.
We're not going to talk about our, mommy or daddy or issues or whether we were molested as kids or anything like that. We might have a guest every now and then, which might be kind of fun. But
we already do have a guest booked.
Really? Who's coming?
Jackie the Joke Man Martling. I don't know
crap.
when.
I opened for him. Oh, I can't wait. I opened for him like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
I can't wait because there was a whole list of shit that I couldn't talk about on stage.
He's the best.
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait. And we met for 3 seconds. When I brought him up on stage, he shook my hand, and that was it. That's the only time we've ever
He's
spoken.
one of the few people that returns my phone calls in show business.
I can't wait. So anyway, the mission statement of this show is just we're going to talk about stuff that we think are funny or weird or interesting. We're going to riff on it and have a really good time. And we hope that if you're listening to us at home or wherever, you're going to come along for the ride with us, because I think we're going to have a really good time.
And I also feel like podcasts are like this. Like the most energetic comedian, because it's mostly comedians.
Right, yeah.
The ones that people listen to.
Yeah.
The most energetic comedians become like this. So what do you say? I mean, they show like the energy level just drops.
Well, and also
off.
they do other stuff besides. First of all, it's a lot of comics, and I'm not talking about the big name guys, but I'm talking about a lot of comics are guys that aren't necessarily working as comics. So this is their only thing, and that you know, this is it. This is all they do. This is their podcast, and they consider themselves comics, and they have like 20 listeners, and we're shooting for 25, by the way. But anyway, hopefully our personalities, the way that we normally are in real life, will come across. We'll have a good time. We'll have some laughs. We'll talk about stuff that we probably couldn't talk about in polite company, and we'll just have a really good time. How's that for a mission statement?
Sounds good to me, buddy.
Perfect.
Let's do our new feature.
Right.
Well, they're all new features.
They're all new because it's our first one.
That's right. It's called
Here's One More from the Road.
This is where we tell a story because you're a road comic.
I'm a road comic. When I'm not doing my TV stuff during the week, I'm on the road just about every single weekend all over the country. This is from a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
And this booker called me and said, I have this gig. It's a Saturday night. It's sort of near you, which means it's never near me. Whenever they say it's sort of near you, near New York City.
You're in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I mean, you're in for like a 3 to 4 hour ride.
That's right. Iowa is sort of
because they have
near you.
no idea what's outside of New York City. It's sort of near you. Turned out this was in the Catskills. So it was sort of near me. It was like a 2.5 hour drive.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, the Catskills. And you start thinking, wow, every cool old comic worked the Catskills.
Rickles.
You're thinking Rickles, and you're thinking Dangerfield, and you're thinking all these guys, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be there like in a rumpled suit and a white shirt and a tie askew. And I'm going to walk out on stage with a martini in my hand. And I'm going to do these jokes for this audience dressed in evening clothes. And you're thinking, this is the Catskills. Well, I get up and it's this big monolith of a building, like on a campus. It almost looks like a college campus. And I'm supposed to do 45 minutes. So I get there and there's like all these buses out front, like yellow school buses. And I'm like, all right.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Can I just stop you for a second?
Sure.
Can I guess?
Yeah, go ahead.
Villa Roma.
No, it wasn't Villa Roma.
Have you done Villa Roma?
I have done Villa Roma.
My grandmother has a timeshare there. I got Villa Roma stories for days.
I can't give away the name of the place because that'll ruin the punchline.
Sure.
So I'm like, all right. So I find a parking place. I walk in the front door, and it looks very institutional, almost like the foyer of a hospital. Glass doors, sliding doors. And I walk in, and the furniture is just really plain in the lobby, and there's a reception desk. And as I walk in, no lie, the 30 or 40 people in the lobby stop and turn and look at me like I've just infringed or I've broken into the place. It's all Hasidic Jews. I got booked to do a show for a Hasidic Jewish group.
Good thing you're not an anti-Semite.
At all.
At all.
At all.
I want to make that clear because I live in Brooklyn.
Right.
It's impossible.
Right. And all of our buildings are owned by Hasidic Jews. And my parking garage, they're very nice. And
I see them, but I don't believe them.
So I walk in, and there's the complete fight or flight response in my body.
Sure.
I got to get the fuck out of here. But I can't.
So it was flight.
Yeah.
You didn't just start flipping hats off of people's heads and tugging on their
the minute
hair.
I walk into a gig like that, I start hearing in my head, dead man walking, dead man walking,
right.
Dead man walking.
Like, what could you say that they're going to relate to?
So I'm like, shit, they've seen me. Now I have to do it. So I go up to the front desk. I said, hey, I'm the comic, which is no shit because I'm the only guy that doesn't look like a Hasidic Jew for 10 acres. I'm the only guy. You
look like the rockabilly guy that just got out of rehab.
Absolutely. You know who I look like? I look like the kid in Shawshank Redemption, the kid that shows up later on in the movie who probably knows that Andy Dufresne isn't guilty.
Yes!
That's who I look like walking into this place. All right.
That's awesome.
So I walk in and I said, I'm the comic. And you could see the girl at the reception desk smiling at me. But behind her eyes, you can see her going, who booked this guy? Why is he here?
Right.
Is he here to tell secrets about our Hasidic Jewish life? Why is he here? So she said, oh, of course, you want to talk to Moishi. That's what she said. And I said, okay. And I'm thinking, that's everybody in this room.
Sure.
His name Moishi. So he comes over. He's like, hey, all right. He's very jovial and very happy.
Good.
But you can also, too, it's very passive aggressive. Well, I guess you're not the type of guy we expected.
Right.
And things like that. And I said, this is going to be
They
great.
expected Modest Yahoo to show up.
Yeah, exactly. So by this time now, my fight response has taken over. I said, well, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to make this a great gig. I'm going to nail this thing.
Sure.
They're going to love me. They're going to lift me up in a chair and dance around the room. It's going to be great. So he said, well, the performance space is right in here. And it's like this auditorium. He said, the musical act is on first, but then you're going to go up after him. Well, I get in and it's this guy doing songs in Yiddish.
Come on.
No lie.
How do you follow?
So, well, the first thing I said was, and probably not the best open, I said, hey, I'm R.C. Smith. And of course, the R.C. stands for Roman Catholic.
That's the best opener.
Yeah. And it was the weirdest gig because there were kids there. And of course, it's everybody and they're Hasidic Jewish. So they all have the same wardrobe pretty much.
Right.
And they were polite. They put up with me. But they couldn't wait for me to get off stage.
They didn't laugh.
they
politely
smiled
laughed
a little bit. Because, of course, my thing is, hey, what do you do? What's your job? What do you do for a living, sir?
Yeah, you do an old Vegas style, old school.
Exactly.
act.
What do you do for a living, sir? I'm a jeweler. Oh, what do you do for a living, sir? I'm in
a
real
jeweler.
estate. What do you do? I'm a jeweler. What do you do? I'm in real estate. So I said, wow, I guess if I open a diamond mine, you guys are the ones to talk to. And again, very polite. Oh,
Yes.
very nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice.
I never understand why groups like that would actively engage in a stand-up comedy show when they know. Don't they know?
I
Do
don't
they
know. I don't, because to me, I think the guy singing in Yiddish is more than enough entertainment for that
That's
evening.
it.
That's it. What more do they need?
Right.
Because they were even singing along in Yiddish, and they were old family favorites, from what I understand.
And what did they pay? Right.
So-
The tickets were $10.
Well, I think it might have been free because it was part of this, summer, like a camp type thing. So it was like a weekend thing.
Do you know that Jews are all about summer camp, sending their kids away to summer camp?
Oh, well,
That's a big deal.
They love it. Yeah. So, well, this was for adults and kids.
Roman Catholics just
Yeah.
had to stay home by themselves.
No, and we would we had to stay home by ourselves and then still get up early and go to church on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm like, Seth is going to camp. Why can't I go to camp?
Right. Like,
no, you stay home and watch Tom and Jerry.
No, you have to mow the lawn.
Because we don't have the money for
Someone has to mow the lawn. You're staying home. I'm working. Your dad's working. You're staying home to mow the lawn. So that was my Hasidic, and I couldn't get out there fast enough.
So that is called One More from the Road. We will tell stories from the road. RC actually has road stories. Sometimes I'll tell a story.
Yeah.
I don't go far from my house here in Danbury, Connecticut.
No, you could do like one from the driveway, maybe.
One from the driveway. We got some plugs to do. I believe you have the first one. Speaking of Jews, let's talk about Brad Axelrod at the Treehouse Comedy Productions.
Wow. See, already the show is really moving along. It's seamless. So
Seamless.
Far. It is
And
seamless.
Brad is, by the way, our title sponsor
Yeah,
here.
Treehouse Comedy Productions is the oldest and original provider of live comedy entertainment in Connecticut, and it is now closing in on 35 years of the best live comedy. The Treehouse's venues in Westport, Windsor Locks, and at the Fairfield Theater Company. Go to treehousecomedy.com for all upcoming shows or call the box office at 203-268-5857. Don't miss our Lovely Ladies of Laughter show Saturday, August 19th in Windsor Locks. And Billy Wynn headlines the Treehouse Comedy Club in Westport Saturday, August 26th. Again, go to treehousecomedy.com for tickets and more information. And if you want to hire R.C. Smith, hey, that's me.
That's you.
For a live stand-up appearance, go to treehousecomedy.com or call the Treehouse Business Office, again, at 203-268-5857. Stay connected with the show. Go to Facebook and like the Smith and Milano podcast, and Treehouse Comedy Productions on Twitter at Treehouse Comedy or Smith Milano. Sign up for the YouTube page, Smith and Milano Podcast. And the Smith and Milano podcast is brought to you by Treehouse Comedy Productions with upcoming shows in Westport, Windsor Locks, and the Fairfield Theater Company, starring Rich Vosh, Cash Cab star Ben Bailey, Nick DiPaolo, Robert Kelly, the TV warm-up comic show, Billy Wynn, and the Lovely Ladies of Laughter. Again, go to treehousecomedy.com.
We also want to thank Guitar Hanger, serving Earth's musicians since 1999. Full-service family-owned music store featuring instruments of all shapes and sizes, guitar, ukulele, bass, drums, amps, pedals, school band instruments, which is important. Everybody's got to Eventually that comes up, and where the fuck are you going to get a tuba?
I was in marching band, and I looked for high and low for a fucking French horn.
Where did you play? What did you
I played the French horn.
French horn?
Yep.
Yeah, it's a good question after you just told me. So the Guitar Hanger has them. You could see their full selection at guitarhanger.com. That's hanger, Hangar, like a plane hanger, because they have everything. And like them on Facebook.